Welcome to the SCP Foundation Classified Briefing. Today's subject, SCP-096, the Shy Guy. If you find this classified intelligence valuable, please like and subscribe to stay informed on critical anomalous threats. SCP-096 is a Euclid-class humanoid entity measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. The anomaly possesses an extremely pale, emaciated appearance, with disproportionately long arms and minimal body hair. Its jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human, revealing rows of teeth inconsistent with human dental structure. The entity exhibits extreme docility when unobserved, or when its face remains unseen. However, SCP-096 enters an unstoppable homicidal state when any person views its facial features, whether directly, in photographs, video recordings, or even artistic depictions. The anomaly will pursue the viewer relentlessly across any distance, demonstrating supernatural tracking abilities and near indestructible resilience during these episodes. Current containment requires a 5 meters by 5 meters by 5 meters steel cube at Site-19, with absolutely no optical recording devices permitted within 50 meters of the containment area. Remember, visual contact with SCP-96's face means certain death. No exceptions have ever been recorded. Detailed physical examination reveals SCP-96's anatomy defies conventional human biology. The entity's arms extend approximately 1.5 meters in length, terminating in hands capable of penetrating reinforced steel. Muscle density analysis indicates strength levels exceeding 20 times that of baseline humans, though the anomaly appears severely malnourished. The entity's skin lacks pigmentation entirely, displaying a translucent quality that reveals underlying vascular systems. Facial features remain deliberately obscured in all official documentation due to cognitohazardous properties. What personnel may observe safely is that the entity possesses no visible hair follicles and demonstrates irregular bone structure throughout its skeletal frame. During its docile state, SCP-096 exhibits behaviors consistent with severe depression and social withdrawal. It remains motionless for extended periods, often positioning itself in corners while producing minimal vocalizations, described as quiet sobbing or whimpering. The entity shows no interest in food, water, or environmental stimuli when unobserved. These baseline behaviors change instantaneously upon facial viewing. The transformation from passive to aggressive occurs within 1.7 seconds of initial visual contact. You must never attempt direct observation of the entity's facial features under any circumstances. Foundation awareness of SCP-096 originated from a catastrophic incident at an isolated research facility in the Swiss Alps during winter 1993. The Alpine Biological Research Station housed 17 civilian scientists conducting high-altitude environmental studies. On December 15th, all communication with the facility ceased abruptly during routine evening check-ins. Foundation operatives dispatched to investigate discovered a scene of unprecedented destruction. The reinforced concrete structure had been systematically demolished from within. Massive gouges in steel support beams indicated superhuman strength, while blood spatter analysis revealed multiple human casualties scattered throughout the wreckage. Security footage recovered from damaged equipment showed researchers fleeing in terror, though the source of their panic remained unclear due to corrupted video segments. Most significantly, investigators found SCP-096 in the facility's basement, returned to its docile state, and surrounded by human remains. Forensic analysis indicated the entity had pursued each victim with surgical precision, suggesting targeted rather than random aggression. The trigger mechanism remained unknown until examination of a damaged photograph found clutched in one researcher's hand. You must understand, 17 trained professionals died because someone looked at the wrong image. Initial containment efforts at the Alpine site resulted in immediate catastrophic failure. Mobile Task Force MU-13 arrived equipped for standard anomalous entity retrieval, Unaware of the visual trigger mechanism, Team Leader Agent Morrison made direct eye contact with SCP-096 during preliminary assessment, initiating an immediate rage state transformation. The entity's docile sobbing ceased instantaneously, replaced by vocalizations exceeding 100 decibels. SCP-096 demonstrated unprecedented speed, covering 50 meters in under 3 seconds, while systematically eliminating each team member. Standard tactical equipment proved entirely ineffective against the entity's enhanced durability and strength. Agent Morrison's final transmission described unstoppable pursuit. Before communication terminated, secondary containment teams witnessed SCP-96's behavior pattern. Complete focus on individuals who had viewed its face, followed by methodical elimination, regardless of distance or obstacles. The entity ignored all other personnel until primary targets were neutralized. After Morrison's termination, SCP-096 immediately returned to its passive state, allowing successful sedation and transport. This incident established Protocol 096-1, no direct visual contact under any circumstances. 9 highly trained operatives died learning this fundamental rule. Remember, the entity's appearance is not merely dangerous, it is absolutely lethal upon observation. Following the devastating casualties during initial containment, Dr. Daniel Ashworth of the Cognitohazard Research Division proposed a revolutionary solution. His team developed specialized visual scrambling technology designated Scramble Gear, advanced goggles equipped with real-time facial recognition software and pixelation algorithms. The system would automatically detect and obscure SCP-96's facial features, while maintaining operational visibility for personnel. Prototype testing on static photographs proved promising. The technology successfully identified and distorted the entity's face within 0.3 seconds of detection, theoretically preventing cognitive recognition of its features. Computer modeling suggested 99.7% effectiveness in blocking the visual trigger mechanism. Dr. Ashworth volunteered for the first live test, expressing confidence in his innovation's capability to revolutionize SCP-096 containment procedures. The experiment was scheduled under controlled conditions within a reinforced testing chamber. Multiple backup systems were installed, including emergency sedation protocols and rapid extraction procedures. Dr. Ashworth entered SCP-96's containment cell wearing the Scramble Gear prototype, marking humanity's first intentional direct observation attempt since the Alpine incident. You must understand, technological solutions often fail when confronting anomalous phenomena. Innovation cannot always overcome the impossible. Dr. Ashworth's Scramble Gear experiment concluded with catastrophic results. Despite the technology's sophisticated algorithms, SCP-096 entered its enraged state within seconds of direct observation. Post-incident analysis revealed a critical flaw. The scrambling process required milliseconds to engage, during which Dr. Ashworth's brain processed unfiltered visual data of the entity's face. This brief exposure proved sufficient to trigger the anomalous response. The true scope of SCP-96's visual trigger became apparent during Incident 096-1A. A civilian photographer inadvertently captured the entity in the background of a mountain landscape photograph. SCP-96's face occupied merely 4 pixels in the final image, virtually unrecognizable to conscious observation. However, when this photograph circulated online and appeared in a magazine with 100,000 subscribers, SCP-096 immediately entered an unprecedented rage state. The entity systematically hunted every individual who had viewed the image, regardless of geographic location. Over 600 casualties occurred across multiple continents before Foundation intervention. Amnestic protocols and cover stories required massive resource deployment to maintain normalcy. Remember, even microscopic, unconscious exposure to SCP-96's facial features constitutes a death sentence. No technology can substitute for absolute avoidance. Multiple mobile task forces have attempted termination of SCP-096, each operation resulting in complete mission failure and significant personnel losses. MTFTAU-1. Big Game Hunters deployed anti-material rifles, rocket-propelled grenades, and concentrated small arms fire. The entity absorbed thousands of rounds without meaningful damage, its bone structure regenerating within minutes of impact. MTF-Omega-7, Pandora's Box, utilized SCP-096-2 in direct combat engagement. Despite Able's exceptional combat capabilities, SCP-096's anomalous strength and regenerative properties proved insurmountable. The entity demonstrated the ability to tear through reinforced steel barriers and military-grade body armor with bare hands. High-explosive ordnance temporarily dismembered SCP-096, but failed to prevent complete reconstruction of damaged tissue. Most concerning is SCP-096's apparent invulnerability to conventional termination methods. Incendiary weapons, chemical agents, and even tactical nuclear consideration have been deemed ineffective based on mathematical modeling. The entity's anomalous properties appear to violate fundamental laws of physics, suggesting termination may be theoretically impossible with current Foundation resources and understanding. You must accept this reality. SCP-096 cannot be destroyed. Containment through avoidance remains our only viable strategy for preventing global catastrophe. The psychological toll on Foundation personnel assigned to SCP-096 operations has proven severe and lasting. Post-incident interviews revealed consistent patterns of acute stress disorders, persistent nightmares, and paranoid behaviors among survivors. Dr. Meridian reported chronic insomnia following Incident 096-1A, stating she could no longer view photographs without experiencing panic attacks. Several researchers have requested permanent transfer from anomalous duty assignments. Audio recordings of SCP-096's vocalizations during rage states have been classified as cognitohazardous after 3 personnel developed severe phonophobia. The entity's screams demonstrate frequencies that induce immediate psychological distress, with some subjects reporting auditory hallucinations weeks after exposure. Mandatory psychological evaluations now occur monthly for all SCP-096 research staff. Most disturbing is the development of what psychologists term 096 syndrome, an obsessive fear that one has inadvertently viewed the entity's face. Affected personnel compulsively examine their memories, convinced they have triggered a breach. 2 researchers attempted suicide rather than wait for what they believed was inevitable termination by SCP-096. Remember, psychological fitness is not optional when dealing with cognitohazardous entities. Report any intrusive thoughts or sleep disturbances immediately. Termination Log 096 Alpha documents the most comprehensive elimination attempt to date. The entity was subjected to sustained fire from multiple GAU-8 Avenger cannons, delivering over 4,000 rounds of depleted uranium ammunition. SCP-096's skeletal structure was completely pulverized, yet full regeneration occurred within 17 minutes. Tissue samples collected during this process showed cellular reconstruction at rates exceeding any known biological mechanism. Termination Log 096 Beta involves submersion in a bath of concentrated hydrofluoric acid for 72 hours. The entity's flesh was completely dissolved, leaving only bone fragments. However, SCP-096 began regenerating immediately upon removal, achieving full corporeal restoration within 43 minutes. The acid showed no permanent effect on its anomalous properties. The final attempt, Termination Log 096 Gamma, utilized SCP-173 in a controlled environment. Despite SCP-173's lethal capabilities, it proved incapable of inflicting permanent damage to SCP-096. The interaction was terminated when SCP-096 began displaying signs of entering a rage state without visual trigger, suggesting unknown interaction between anomalies. You must understand, SCP-096 represents an absolute predator that cannot be stopped, only avoided through perfect containment protocols. SCP-096 represents a Euclid-class anomaly of the highest threat level, an indestructible predator capable of breaching any physical barrier when triggered. The entity's anomalous properties make it effectively immortal, while its rage state transforms it into an unstoppable killing machine that will pursue targets across continents without cessation. Your containment duties are absolute and non-negotiable. You will never attempt to view SCP-96's face through any medium, direct observation, photographs, video recordings, or artistic representations. You will immediately report any suspected visual contact to Site Command. You will maintain strict adherence to sealed containment protocols, understanding that a single breach could result in hundreds of casualties before recontainment. The Foundation's knowledge of this entity has cost us dearly. 137 personnel have died in containment breaches, termination attempts, and research incidents. Each death serves as a reminder that some anomalies cannot be studied, only contained through unwavering discipline and respect for established protocols. Remember, SCP-96's continued containment depends entirely on your absolute compliance with visual restrictions. One moment of curiosity could doom us all. This concludes your classified briefing on SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Stay vigilant, Foundation personnel. Dismissed.